I've been trying to push this game here out the Dice Riot store. It's going to be releasing hopefully by next month. So I thought I would make a quick video and kind of explain what Ashes is. Now, Ashes Reborn is a reboot of Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborn, which released, I think, 2015, maybe 2014. But it's a two-player card game where you're battling each other. And you have a deck of cards, and in this case, a pile of dice to use as your magic to summon cards out of your hand to play. What I prefer about this game, this doesn't have blind packs. So you're not going to the store buying a bunch of $5 little packs, not knowing what's on the inside of them, hoping to get what you want. With Ashes you get to know every card that's in a deck that you buy. And there's not the constant chase. So cost efficiency, this is a pretty good value if you like those card battling games. Now, Ashes Reborn is the 1.5, so it has a lot of updated cards that it just fix balance the issues and stuff like that, and simplicity of play. And I've been playing a lot of this on Tabletop Simulator. One of the things that draws me to this game is the artwork. The early artwork was all done by the same artist. I don't know about the newer cards, but the early art was, very high quality, and there's good consistency across all the cards. So it's very attractive to get on the table and play. So I'm going to switch over to Tabletop Simulator here. And I have all of the different Phoenixborns here and their dice up here at the top. Now, the Phoenixborn is the character that you got to keep alive. Say Symbala here. You have to keep her alive. The opponent is trying to take down her 19 health. Now, to keep her alive, she has a battlefield of 5, meaning she has 5 units to attack with. And she also has a spell board of 4. You have certain spells called ready spells that once they play out, they're always in play. So every round you can reactivate them. And the life values, battlefield size, and spell boards vary with the different characters. So, for example, Koji has a health of 16, a battlefield of 10, and a spell board of 3. So his style of play is about putting a lot of small units, fast small units out to play with not much magic. But Mayoni only has a battlefield of 4, so she puts out powerful units and has a bigger spell board to draw from. Now, and she has 20 life. Cole here, he has 15 life, a battlefield of 6, and a spell board of 4. But if you see at the bottom, they all have abilities. So Cole's ability is Slash here. And see that little star next to Slash, that means it's a side action. And his ability is activated when you discard a card out of your hand. If we go to Noah, he has a side action or a special ability that's a side action. And then it's an exhaustion token, which is one of these guys here. So you exhaust it, so you can only use it once per round. And a dice. The Deathly Hallows thing is 1 dice on its basic side. That's the basic symbol. So most abilities have an exhaustion token on them, and you can only use them once. Only Cole's and Jess's, I believe, are not exhausted. You can constantly use them, but they have other costs, like spending dice, and dice being your magic pool or everything, and you only have a limited number of cards, so that's a pretty big cost as well. Some abilities, like Astria's, is that little star with a circle around it, so that's a main action. And you see, you play generally 2 to 4 rounds is a game, and a round is made up of turns. And every turn, you have a main action and a side action. You don't have to take either, but the moment both of you pass a main action, then the round ends, and we go to cleanup phase, and we redraw and reshuffle, or redraw and reroll and stuff like that. Well, I'll explain that later. Next, I will explain the dice here. So the dice come with these cards. So this is a ceremonial dice here. This is a charm dice. This is a nature dice, illusion dice, sympathy, and power. And the dice have effect as well. So at the very, very bottom for a side action, You spend the goat head, and you search through your discard pile for an ally, put it in your hand, and deal yourself a damage. For ceremonial, you use this dice to lower the attack value of someone else. Now, you see the symbols. The dice has three sides that are like the Deathly Hallows thing here. That's the basic side. The knife is the class side, and it's like the medium power. And then the top one, the goat, is your power symbol. And those are the ones you want to roll. There's only one of those on a dice. It's like rolling a 6. Okay, I'll put those back over here. Now, in the box, the starter box, you get these 6 here. Phoenixborns come in the starter box, and all the cards that come along with them. So, for example, with Cole, you would get his deck of cards, and you see this card has Cole's picture on the bottom. Everybody has a loyalty card, and only Cole can have this card, and it's generally very powerful. If you see this one here is an action spell at the top. I'm pointing with my hand. I don't know why. You also have to discard it. It's a main action. It costs you 2 basic dice. This is a ready spell. This costs 1 leaf to play out, and I'll explain the play round in a moment. But to conjure Rhino, it costs you 6 basic dice. So these guys are expensive, but they are very, very powerful. Now, the ready spell doesn't get discarded. If you recall, Cole has a spell board of 4, so every round, if he doesn't have a Rhino out there, he can draw another Rhino out. You see, these are all, that's another ready spell. These are all cards that he would play out of his hand. Okay, if you look at the back of them, they have this light color backing. This here, that has that dark back, that's the Conjuration pile. So this does not go in his hand. It's not part of his 30 cards. And all these decks have to be 30 cards when you play. And so he would play the summon book, and then the next round he would pull out a Rhino. Now Rhino, obviously in those boxes have abilities, but at the bottom you see there's 7 attack, 4 life, and 0 recover. So it does 7 damage. It can take 4 hits, and at the end of the round, it does not heal any. Let's look at a couple of other units. Hammer Knight here. It costs a main action, a black power, a nature class, and a basic. It has an attack of 3, a life of 4, but a recover of 2. So at the end of the round, it will heal 2. So if it takes any damage throughout the round, it will heal 2 at the end of the round. Group all those back up. Okay, and each of them play differently. Like I said, he plays some big heavy units. This guy plays a bunch of small units. Saria here will mill your deck, which makes you discard cards. Whenever you run out of cards to draw, every time you draw a card, you take a damage called fatigue damage. And so you're constantly burning off extra damage this way. So she doesn't have big hard-hitting units at all. They're all pretty weak, but she controls the board and allows you not to play your units. Jessie here, or Jessa, she will burn you down pretty quick on her abilities. Airedale is a good overall deck. Good powerful units plus protective units. And she has one of the better Phoenixborn abilities in the game here. All right, so all of these other cards, with the exception of these 2 decks, all these others, each deck is $14, and you get the Phoenixborn and all the cards. And so you know exactly what you're getting when you purchase any additional decks. No random buys and buying a bunch and hoping you get something good. These 2 here run about $22, but they come with their own die set. This comes with 10 of those, and Nameen comes with 10 of those dice. Okay, so and they are coming out with more Phoenixborns now that they've rebooted the game. So I want to blank these out, and I'm going to bring up, um, let's say, let's go Airedale's. This is her deck from the Plaidhat website because you get to build decks how you want to. And so the 30 cards need to match the dice that you take, right? And also what's neat about this game is you get to choose your first 5 cards. So she's going to take a Summon Iron Rhino as her first 5, Butterfly Monk, let's see, this one, and this one. And those are your first 5 cards. After you choose your first 5, Conjuration Deck, let's see what she has in her Conjuration Deck. These are what she can conjure here. Of course, she has a spell battlefield of 8, spell board of 4, and 16 health. This is her deck. And you shuffle this up. Then you roll your dice. And this is how you start the game. So whoever has the most basic symbols, in this case I have 3, will choose who gets to go first. All right, so it's assumed that I have first play here. I will play, I'll spend a leaf and put out a Summon Rhino book. Okay, I don't have a side action. I'll pass it to the next player. Turns on here. All right, so I'll end turn and goes to the next player. Comes back to me for main action cost. See in the top right, I'll put another spell, ready spell down. Okay, I'll end turn, comes back to me. Now I cannot bring out a Butterfly Monk. I don't have any dice on the frog side, on the power side. So you have dice manipulation. You can, it's a side action called Meditate, and you can get rid of cards off your spell board, which I don't want to do that. I can get rid of cards out of my hand, which right now I don't want to do that. Or I can get rid of them off the top of my deck. So I want to look and see, I need one frog, illusion, and knife. Okay, so I want to meditate 2. Oh, I got another red book on, and a final cry, and that allows me to take 2 dice and move them to any side. Oops, that I want to move them on, and there we go. Now I'm klutzy. There we go. So if I saw that and I saw what got discarded, I'd say, I want to meditate 1 more. And you can do that because once you declare the meditate action, you can just keep going. So that was a side action. So I get a main action, and I'm going to, oh, see, I need to meditate 1 more. I wasn't thinking to turn this guy up here. The reason I was meditating to begin with, I'll play this to bring out a Butterfly Monk here. So that's my main action. I will pass. It comes back to me. Oh, don't ever forget to exhaust. Now when you exhaust something, they lose their ability. So if I attack with him, the Butterfly Monk, it gets exhausted. That makes it lose its unit guard. The Mend down there has an X around it in the yellow box. That means it's unexhaustible. It always has that ability. Now, a couple of other things would say this guy has a Hammer Knight over here on this side. And they're attacking. You can attack a unit, or you can send everybody after the Phoenixborn. If you're attacking a unit, it's only 1-on-1. So if you attack a unit, let's get a Rhino out here. It's going to attack that Rhino. Now, he would get an exhaustion for doing so. I can actually, since this has unit guard, guard is protecting units, so I could step up and guard with this card here and make him attack him instead. Or, once per turn, you turn that sideways and she would take the damage. So, just 19 health, yeah, 16 health. So she would take the 2 damage, and he would be free to attack next round. Or if he's attacking her, this one can block. Any one of your units can block for your Phoenixborn, and your Phoenixborn can guard for any of your units. But only the units that have unit guard can guard for each other. So guarding is protecting units, and blocking is protecting your Phoenixborn. All right, I really think that's all as far as the quick rundown is concerned. There's some good YouTube channels out there. Shuffle Bus has a lot of playthrough videos. Not necessarily playthrough, but live play games, and he explains the game as you play it. So those are always good to learn with. But I wanted to make this just to tell you what Ashes is and what it's about.